Hi guys, and welcome to day 80 of our 365 Days of Courage, where we try to encourage one another every day for a year with God's words in the Bible. We look for those verses that assure us not to be afraid, to fear nothing, and to take courage. Our verse for today is taken from the book of Genesis, chapter 35, verse 17. At anong sabi doon? Don't be afraid, Rachel. It's another boy. Now, ano yung kwento dito sa ating courage verse sa araw na to? Jacob settled in Bethel and God blessed him there. Now, alam natin na itong si Jacob, yung asawa niyang si Rachel, is the mother of Joseph. And we all know that Joseph, meron siyang mas nakababatang kapatid in the person of Benjamin. Now, when Rachel was about to give birth to Benjamin, nagkaroon ng complication sa kanyang panganganak. And she was already gasping her breath when the midwife, imagine may midwife nung unang panahon. Okay, oldest profession siguro yan. When the midwife said, "Huwag ka matakot, Rachel. May isa ka pang anak." And right after giving birth, Rachel died. But before she died, sinabi pa niya na ang magiging pangalan ng anak niya is Benoni. But then, Jacob named the boy Benjamin. Napakadelikado para sa isang mother to give birth. Because it would mean either mamatay siya or mamatay yung baby niya. We'd all be rejoicing if both mother and child will live. Pero mas nakakasad naman din kung namatay na yung baby, namatay pa yung mother. And then, meron talaga yung mga sitwasyon na kung saan nabubuhay yung baby, yung mother namatay. And in our courage verse for today, Rachel died giving birth to Benjamin. That's why we salute mothers. Because every time they give birth, yung kanilang isang paa is already in the grave. That's why kapag may mga anak, they need prayers. And we should be praying for them that they will be able to make it. Alright? So, ang nangyari dito is, Rachel died giving birth to Benjamin. Ibig sabihin, a life ended, a new life begins. Alright? Now, ang gospel kasi natin sa araw na ito talks about the resurrection of Jesus. He has already been telling his apostles that after 3 days, he will rise again. But then, yung mga apostles, hindi nila naintindihan yung sinasabi ng Panginoong Jesus na yan. And therefore, when news reached the apostles, especially Peter and John, na yung bato na nakatakip sa tomb nitong si Jesus was rolled away, ibig sabihin, nabuksan yung tomb. They rushed. Peter and John were running towards the tomb, and then here comes John. Nauna siya kaysa kay Peter, meaning he was more than eager to see what is happening. Here comes Peter, but John did not immediately go inside. Sumilip lang siya dun sa pintuan, and then Peter, sumunod sa kanya, he went inside. And then John saw na wala doon ang Panginoong Jesus, and he believed. Now, they found an empty tomb. Ibig sabihin, somebody died, placed in a tomb, and then after 3 days, that somebody resurrected. Yung old life niya, yung human life niya died, and then his spiritual life, his spiritual body has risen anew. Parang yung si Rachel namatay giving birth to life to Benjamin. Now, in our lives, there are aspects that we need to die. Sins, bad habits, vices, lahat ng mga negatibo. Kailangan mamatay ang mga yan so that we will also give birth to a new us, into a positive person. Right? Into a positive personality. Now, ang karugtong ng ating gospel verse for today, it was taken from the Gospel of John, chapter 20, verses 1 to 18, is after na nakita ni John and Peter that the tomb was empty, they went home, probably to report to their brothers, to the other apostles yung nakita nila. Mary Magdalene stayed behind and was crying. Why? Because para sa kanya, nasaan na ang Panginoon ko? And then, Jesus appeared to her, but she did not recognize Him. Why? Kasi bago na nga yung kanyang itsura. That's why she did not recognize Him. His dress was as white, diba? Yung description sa gospel. Kaya hindi siya namukhaan nitong si Mary. And actually, Mary Magdalene, akala niya gardener yun. Kung ikaw po ang kumuha sa Panginoon ko, nasaan siya? Sabihin mo sa akin, saan mo siya dinala? And then, she only recognized Jesus when Jesus called her name, Mary. Nung na-recognize na niya ang kanyang teacher, Rabboni, he said, she was about to hug him, embrace him, kasi tuwang-tuwa na siya that Jesus resurrected. But then, Jesus told her, oops, hindi pa ako maakyat sa ating Ama. Sa Ama ko, na Ama niyo, na Ama nating lahat. But go and tell my brothers that I'm going to Him. I'm going back to the Father. My Father, your Father. My God and your God. Alright? Now, again, let's go back to our courage verse. Huwag sana tayong matakot na may mamatay sa atin. As long as yung mga mamamatay na yan ay yung mga pangit na ugali natin, yung ating mga masasamang gawain. Because in order for us to be born anew into something more positive, then into something more holy, then we'll have to die to those negative things that we are doing. That is the message of the resurrection, and that is the context of our courage verse for today. Rachel may have died, but then her dying brought new life into this world. And so, hindi ko naman sinasabi na maganda yung nangyari, but then, mas maganda na nabuhay din si Benjamin kaysa naman namatay silang dalawa. Diba? Pero mas maganda sana kung nabuhay din silang dalawa. But then, hey, it's God's will. So there are times that we need to accept these things. And again, giving birth is the scariest experience that every mother will undergo, and therefore they need our prayers. So sa lahat ng mga nanganganak na kilala natin, we have to pray for them so that they will both make it, the mother and the baby. Okay? And so guys, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to die to all those negative things, especially sins, so that we will enter into a new life. Just like when Jesus resurrected, His old physical body is gone, His new spiritual body, who is going up, ascending to heaven, has just begun. And so guys, let us not be afraid. Something in us may die, but something better will be born. Alright guys? So guys, thank you once again for tuning in, and thank you for always watching. And I'll hope to see you tomorrow for day 81 of our 365 days of courage. Bye guys!